we are going to be leaving you with quite the treat today. Our next guest is a self-made producer, a DJ, an art collector, but also a musical talent. With us now, Drummer B. Thank you for being with us here on the MegaCast.
Yes, thank you for having me. Thank you so much.
So you're very well known in Detroit. Do you ever go by your real name?
Yeah, I go by Leonard, but most people just call me Drummer. Even my family members, everybody call me Drummer.
So tell us about your background. You do a little bit of everything.
Yes, people know me more from a hip hop background. I started with Big Proof. I've worked with By 10 from Slum Village. I've DJ'd around Detroit locally, open mic scene for about 4 or 5 years. I've also worked with Danny Brown, and I've worked with Transmad and Derek May, and yeah, I've kind of been around in a lot of different circles.
What's it been like for you during the pandemic? Because live music still has not restarted.
Yes, I know. Tell the truth, in the beginning, it was hard. It was a little depressing actually at first because I'm a person that's used to DJing almost every week, maybe sometimes twice a week. And to not have any work, it was just kind of scary at first, not knowing where everything was going to go and just trying to stay safe. So I went through that time of it. Then there was also another part of it where it became a real creative time for me because if it wasn't for COVID, I wouldn't have done, I did 2 streams this year or last year. And those 2 streams helped me with, deciding how come about making my next project and what I want to do in the future. So like bringing more of a visual music thing to you, it wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for COVID.
And I have to say, really, you've made headlines because of the concert that you did. Do you call it a concert? The performance that you did at the Belle Isle Aquarium. How did that even come about? It's fantastic.
Yeah. Well, originally, first, I would always go to the aquarium on the weekends. It's like a hidden gem. Surprisingly, a lot of people do not know about it. And I think it's just because it's only open on the weekends. It's part of the reason maybe. But I would go there on the weekends, and one day when I went, I said, it'd be a great idea to do an event here. And I was thinking if I could host it around movement, that'd be a great time because we have so many people from out of town. It'd be a good tourist attraction, and it'd just be different. And one of the things that I ran into when I contacted the people about it, issues with the sound, with the fish, and with lights and things like that. It could cause stress to the fish from the frequencies of the bass to the lights flashing and all of that. So my idea became maybe we could do a silent party. So we were going to do a silent disco with the headphones, 2 different DJs playing. You could still tour the aquarium, and we were going to have things on the lawn, activities. So once the COVID happened, took that all out. And after doing 2 streams that were very successful, I'm always trying to think of what can I do to take it to the next level. And I was like, you know what? Maybe I could stream from the aquarium. I was like, and I'm going to make all the music original just for the aquarium, like make it all a theme. I just wanted to do something different than the normal bedroom. Nothing against it, but I just wanted to bring something different to the table.
It's fantastic. And you named it the Age of Aquarius. What was it like for you to be able to perform in that setting?
Man, it was almost unbelievable. Just because I remember last year, it was just merely a thought, like an idea. So whenever something comes from a thought and it manifests, it's like an adrenaline rush, and it makes me want to make bigger goals and accomplish something else that's bigger than that. So I was very thankful. It was a rush for me. And to see how it was taken and perceived to the world was great. And to know that we were able to raise $1,000 for the aquarium, that was great. It was a good thing.
So you put Detroit on the map once again.
I guess so. I'm honored, you know, Detroit born and raised. So, you know, it's my job. I would consider myself a Detroit ambassador, you know.
Uh, the one thing about live music, it's about the energy that
Yeah.
you get off of the people around you. How do you try to capture that when you're missing the people?
Well, it's kind of, it works actually, because when I first started, you know, you start from your bedroom and you go into a big crowd and you have to prep yourself for that, you know, like being nervous and, you know, being around a bunch of people. So doing it from home is actually kind of easy. It's like nobody's around. It's like I'm literally just practicing to myself, and I can maybe even be a little more animated, you know. But it's pretty cool. It's not as hard. It's actually easier for me.
So when the restrictions are eventually lifted for live venues, what do you think it's going to look like to be able to go to a live concert again?
Well, I know that people are like extremely excited about coming out to do anything. So I know once the doors open for that type of stuff, like it's going to be on, but there are going to be limitations. You know, only so many people will be able to fit in a certain spaces, and you're going to have to take safety precautions. But I feel like people are going to follow all of those things just because they want to come out. They want live music, you know, like it's been a whole year. We've been missing it. So I think it's going to be a surge, honestly. Like it's going to be a lot of different things going on.
I will tell you, I'm there. I'm signing up. I mean, just look how excited we are to be able to walk into Starbucks again. It's
Yes,
like, come on.
the smallest things. Yes, for real.
So, do you think people are going to want to get the vaccine just so that they can start doing things such as going to events or sporting events, things of that nature?
Yeah, you know, there's that big fight. You know, it's people that's for it and it's people that's not. But then you have that middle part where you might not be able to work if you don't get the vaccine. You may not be able to travel if you don't get the vaccine. So it's like, it's kind of hard. I think to some degree, depending on your profession or what you're trying to do, you just might have to take it. But, you know, I understand, you know, being safe and everything. But that's going to be a hard area for sure.
Yeah, I think the vaccine and showing that you've had the vaccine or you're negative for COVID-19 is really going to be in our futures for all of us right now. I know that some of my friends, just to be able to go into, like if you're a salesperson, to go into, a business, you're having to show already that, you're not positive for COVID-19. But as someone who is also the performer, how
Mm-hmm.
worried are you about your safety?
Well, you know, I'm that's always a main concern, always. So I always ask those questions, at least since all of this has been happening. You know, what are the safety measurements? Are people going to be masked? And I just want to make sure the promoters are going out their way to make sure that I'm safe and as well as everybody else. So, you know, as long as I can see that, then I feel comfortable. But I know for even myself, you know, I travel throughout the world and I'm pretty sure it's going to be necessary to have that vaccine just across borders. And, you know, so.
So
so
what's
I,
next? What's next for you? How do you top performing in the aquarium?
uh, well, I have some things in my sleeve. I'm not going to say the exactly what I'm going to do because I like the element of surprise, but it's going to be just as big, if not bigger. I also have The Age of Aquarius, the actual album that I was promoting. That will be available February 12th via Bandcamp. You can go to my website, drummerb.com, to make pre-orders. And also we'll have another record with Transmat in spring. So I have a few things coming.
But how do you get out to promote new music when you can't get out?
Well, it's really just taking advantage of this social media platform at this point, and like, you know, I'm doing more things like this, you know, Zooming interviews and just being more. I was never like a big Instagram person or like super big on Facebook, but I have to engage more. I've been engaging more just so I can stay connected and build new fans and just finding new avenues of trying to get through this, because it will never be the same. So if you stay in the past mind with that type of mind and trying to go about it, you're just going to always be mad and frustrated. So like I said, I'm trying to take advantage of it, and like I did with the stream, I made a visual album, so I'm going to have to do the same with just trying to get the music out. Have to find a new way to get it out. Just be a little more sociable. That's all.
So what advice would you give to other up and coming artists?
I would say do whatever you feel. A lot of times you might have an idea, but you may be scared of what your friends may think or associates, or maybe because the trend is so heavy in this area, you feel that your idea might be too left, when that's probably the thing that you need. That's what makes you different. I encourage people to be personal with their music and how they present themselves, because the more personal you are, the more flavor, I guess, or soul your music or art, whatever you do, will have to it. Just make it kind of personal.
It's really been interesting to see how some of these social media platforms have launched careers for so many people. Although I will say, I'm old, because I'll see some of them and I'm like, who is that? And they're starting when they're like 12, 13, and 14 years old. I'm like, whoa.
Totally different. Like this, the internet is good. We can use it in our favor. And like I said, COVID last year, it brought everyone to the same level in the music industry, just all the industries. So from the person that's in his bedroom to the person that was out touring all over the world, like we're all on the same platform right now. And it's really going to count on your talent. You're really communicating with people to get through. All the fluff, I feel like, is gone, like, because you have to break through.
So while you were at the aquarium, did you find a favorite fish at all?
My favorite actually are the piranhas. I mean, it's because they're so, like, they interact with everything that you do. Like, you go up to the tank and you get the wave in your hands, like they're all on you. They're everywhere. So I just like the piranhas. I like the way they move in the tank.
How long did it take you guys to set everything up and actually do the performance?
It was 2 hours. It took an hour to set up, and the actual performance was 40 minutes. And then time to break down. We were able to celebrate, do a cheers and everything. It went good, but I planned it out that way. I planned it so we can go in, execute, do one take, not 2 or 3, and be done with it.
Just another minute or two here with you on the MegaCast, and being that you did grow up in Detroit, you are a Detroiter.
Right.
What are your thoughts on Detroit's comeback?
I'm all for it, actually. I'm all for a comeback. We've seen a lot of eras, and the comeback was needed hard. So I'm happy for the comeback. I'm happy for all the new things that are in the city. It's a lot of new life in the city. I want to embrace it, and I also want the people, the new people, and all the new things that are here to also embrace the things that were here, and to give and acknowledge those things, and not to like sweep it under the rug, because that will happen. A whole new move of people, or technology and new buildings. People will forget about all of the original stuff and the architect that we had, or some of the historical schools. And Detroit has a lot of history. So we have to do better with preserving our history as we move forward in the future. And I'm all for that.
Yeah, it's been hard to watch some of the schools be torn down, because that's history. I mean, I'm from Ohio, and when I go back, my junior high is gone. It's a vacant lot now. And it's like, you're missing something, right?
Yeah, no, for real. And a lot of those schools are in the neighborhoods. So when you go in the neighborhoods and you see that abandoned school, it kind of just hits you like, oh, like, yeah, it's crazy.
Well, it's been great having you on the show. You're very, like I said, extremely well known. You are a part of Detroit. Drummer, be with us here on the MegaCast. Thank you again for taking time to be with us. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Quickly, your Instagram. How can people follow you and get your music?
You can follow me on Instagram at drummerb313. And if you would like to get the music, you can go to my website at drummerb.com.
Great artwork, by the way. Who did that for you?
That was by Abu Haq. He is the original illustrator for the Drexcia Volume 1 comic book. And he has Volume 2 coming out later this year. And this is like a prequel to what's going on in the next issue. It would be like a guest appearance in that.
That's so cool. Is he local?
He's from Detroit. He's worldwide, and he's known for his art mainly for the Drexcia comic, Volume 1.
Oh, it was so great that you were able to collaborate and come together, but also thank you for also coming up with the creative way to promote the aquarium, because like you said, it's a gym here in our backyards.
Yes, I'm glad to be able to bring it to you guys, and it was well accepted.